This is an auto-narrated audiobook by Google's computer-generated AI voices. Only Mia by Una Rida.
To ensure the authors on this channel are able to bring you more free content, please support them by subscribing to the channel.
Copyright 2023 by Lovestruck Romance, all rights reserved.
Chapter 1. Candy or gum? Chocolate or toffee? My fingers impatiently tap the side of my register as a middle-aged woman painstakingly examines the available options while a grumpy-looking gray-haired gentleman in line behind her scowls at me, as though I'm personally responsible for the wide selection or her difficulty with simple decision-making. Shuffling his feet, Grumpy Guy grumbles,
"Come on, lady. It ain't rocket science."
"Uh-oh." The woman glares at him briefly, then turns to me.
"I don't like the way you're looking at me,"
she snaps.
"I'd like to speak to the manager."
Me. Instead of confronting Grumpy Guy, she aims her wrath at me. Why? Because I'm the lowly cashier who desperately needs this job and can't defend herself. It's true. I can't. I'd like to, but when it comes to sticking up for their employees, no place follows the motto of "the customer is always right" better than SmartMart. And the only thing I want less than a root canal is Mr. Rayner up in my business. Why can't shoppers at SmartMart actually be smart? Perhaps I can placate her. Ma'am.
"Ma'am? Did you just call me ma'am? Do I look like a ma'am to you?"
Well, actually? I throw up my hands in defeat. I'll just call the manager. Mr. Rayner, of course, apologizes to not ma'am for my impatience and to Grumpy Guy for his long wait. No one acknowledges that I'm in no way at fault. At least my shift is over. Quickly closing out my register, I attempt to sneak past Mr. Rayner on my way out, and I'm about to push open the back door and exit through the alley when I hear his voice.
"Mia, a moment, please."
Dang. So close to freedom. Entering the manager's office, I find Harold Rayner with his backside perched on the edge of his desk. He slides a chair out with his foot and waits until I take it.
Mia. You know I can help you if you'd only be a little more amenable."
He reaches out to place a hand on my shoulder, but I jump up and take 2 steps back. This is a game I'm tired of playing. I have a boyfriend. It's the same lie I usually go with, but once it's out of my mouth, I wonder if I'd be better off claiming to have gonorrhea and herpes. Maybe throw in leprosy for good measure.
"No, you don't."
Rayner laughs, as though the very idea of me with a boyfriend is ridiculous.
"Come here, Mia."
He opens his arms and for a brief second. Very brief. I almost give in. I'm so tired of fighting, of struggling, of trying to stay afloat by working double shifts and standing at a register for hours on end. When Rayner runs his tongue around his lips in a gesture that's meant to look sensual but makes me want to barf, I quickly come to my senses. Things are bad, but not that bad. I'm leaving. Rayner straightens.
"That old bat that complained about you. I have to make a record of it. That makes 3 complaints this month, Mia. 1 more and you're facing suspension."
At that, I turn and leave his office, ignoring the crude comment that follows me. I'd like to tell him where he can shove his suspension and how far up to lodge it, but I need this job. I picture the pink princess dress Emma went crazy for at SmartMart the other day. Who'd have thought fake satin and frilly petticoats were so expensive? Outside, I suck in a deep breath of cool night air and adopt a brisk pace for the walk home. Logan's new CD will be hitting the shelves soon, and I'll have to see it over and over as I ring out purchases for it. A sudden pang of heartache stabs me like a dagger, and I wonder how much longer these feelings will haunt me. I pray for the day I'll hear the name Logan Kent and feel blessedly numb. When a cell phone notification dings, I assume it's the sitter, Tara. She's a little costly, and money is always tight, but she's the only decent sitter who'll venture down to East 6. Everyone else deems the area too skid row to set foot in. But it's not Tara. I stare in shock at the screen as I read the text from Lily.
"Mia, I'm getting married in Cottonwood Falls this weekend. I need you there. Miss you."
Lily? I haven't talked to Lily Kent in almost 4 years, not since she and Logan both left town to pursue their dreams. They both succeeded. Logan made it big in Nashville, and critics raved about the blockbuster movie Lily recently starred in. I read in a gossip magazine that her fiancé is some big-shot Hollywood director. Why in the world is she getting married in Cottonwood Falls? Why not LA? My stomach flips as I realize what this means. Her brother Logan will probably also be in town for the wedding. I remember the last time I saw him. The night we finally made love. Afterward, we whispered promises to one another long into the night. I also remember the night a few months later when I broke every single one of those promises.
Chapter 2. As the camera flashes go off, I give 'em all I've got. No matter how I'm feeling inside, I'm trained to produce my $1 million smile on cue. The blonde on my arm. What's her name? Aaliyah? Or is it Aria? Asia, maybe. Kisses my cheek as the lights continue to flash.
Hey, Logan.
Over here, Logan.
The reporters and fans shout, and the blonde wraps her body around me like a snake. She coils one leg around mine and tries to pull me closer, using both arms and all her might, but I'm a big guy. 6'5" and 240 pounds. And her toothpick frame can't budge me. I turn to tell her to cool it, but as I do, my face smacks against hers. Hard. You okay? I start to ask, but the words don't make it out because as soon as I open my mouth, her tongue darts out and she begins licking my face, leaving a trail of slobber all over the lower half of my jaw. I continue to smile for the cameras as if I'm enjoying it, but in truth, at 27, I'm already burned out on girls, parties, and all the other trappings of fame. My climb was meteoric. One open mic night with the right producer in the audience, and I went from being one of thousands of struggling musicians to winning the Academy of Country Music's Best New Artist the following year. Overnight success. I won't lie and say it wasn't a spectacular feeling to be able to share my music with the world. I even enjoyed the celebrity lifestyle for a short time, but I quickly learned that it's not all it's cracked up to be, the glitz, glam, and power lunches of Nashville. It's a hollow existence. There's no substance. Image is everything in this town, and celebrities hire publicists to cherry-pick what goes out in the media. I have one too. Which is why I'm here tonight with whatever her name is. I'm playing the fame game when all I want is to play music. I don't give a rat's ass about the other stuff, like the money or the girls or even the awards. Okay, maybe I still care about the awards, but girls like Aria or Asia, I think it's Asia, are a dime a dozen in Nashville. Once again, my mind flashes back to a magical night spent with a raven-haired beauty. It wasn't just sex with Mia, although that had been spectacular. It was our chemistry, our connection. There were shared dreams. Words of endearment. Whispered promises. Well, enough reminiscing. It was all lies. The blonde squeezes my ass and the reporters laugh. She's posing for them like they're here for her. As though she's not just a groupie. I look at her again and try to remember where I met her. A honky-tonk, maybe? Sounds about right. The flashbulbs continue, blinding me for a full minute before I blink enough to regain my sight. Vultures. All of them. I include the blonde on my arm in that assessment. I wonder what Mia's doing now. Is she happy? I imagine she's taking Boston by storm. Harvard is a far cry from Cottonwood Falls, Kansas. Her parents might still be in Cottonwood. I never cared much for them. They were too hard on Mia, too demanding in a self-righteous, authoritarian way, but maybe I can at least get an address out of them or something. I hate the thought of returning to Cottonwood Falls, but maybe I'll find out what Mia's been up to. Or maybe I don't want to know. Why torture myself? It's true. She left me, and I should just leave well enough alone. A camera flashes too close to my face and I blink rapidly, but my smile holds. Why am I still obsessing about Mia? It's been 4 years. 4 busy, eventful, life-changing years. Why am I still pining for her like a pimply-faced schoolboy belly-aching over a crush? I shake the thoughts off and open the door to the restaurant. The blonde. Amaya. That's it, Amaya, swings her head back for one last look at the photographers. Her makeup's an inch thick and her frame's too skinny. No woman ever measures up to Mia's fresh face and plump, lush curves. What's wrong with me? Lily's upcoming wedding is messing with my head. It's the thought of returning to our hometown. My parents insisted on staying there, so I bought them the nicest house in town and set up a monthly direct deposit into their bank account. They're far from the straddling the poverty line existence they lived in when Lily and I were growing up. After dinner, when I drop Amaya off at her apartment, there are 2 other girls there. All 3 are pretty in an overdone, trampy sort of way, and they try to draw me inside with everything from provocative looks to dirty propositions. There was a time right after Mia dumped me when I might have accepted their invitation. Back then, I was doing any and everything to distract from the excruciating heartache. I guess I'm making progress because rejection comes easily tonight, and I head back to my 8-bedroom mansion alone.
Chapter 3.
You look pretty, Mommy.
Emma pokes her head out of her bedroom door. I've been staring at my reflection in the hallway mirror for 15 minutes, questioning the cotton print sundress I picked up from the local thrift store for $5. I'm supposed to be meeting Lily and her fiancé at a local restaurant, and I'm now noticing there's a hint of yellow under the armpits and a tiny rip near the hem. All it takes is a genuine compliment from my sweet-faced girl, and I no longer care what anyone else on the planet thinks. I'm sorry I have to go out tonight, sweetie. Between work and household chores, I never get enough time with Emma these days. I'll be home after dinner though, and we'll play dress up. Emma's angelic face lights up.
With my princess dress?
My heart sinks. I don't have enough for it this week, but maybe next payday. $30 takes a big bite out of my weekly budget, but it'll be worth it to see Emma get something she wants for once, instead of being the only little girl in playgroup who has to go without. After kissing Emma goodbye and leaving instructions for Tara, I walk the 1.5 miles to the restaurant rather than waste money on a bus.
Mia.
The moment I walk in, Lily's voice cuts above the din of dinner conversation, and I turn to see her wearing a skin-tight dress and actually running, across the room in 6-inch stilettos.
It's been so long.
I was excited to see Lily too, but now I feel funny, and before I stop myself, I shrink back slightly from this woman who barely resembles the Lily I grew up with. This Lily is wealthy, sophisticated, world-traveled. She rubs elbows with A-list celebrities. I've never been out of Kansas. It's nice to see you, Lily. Lily ignores my awkwardness and pulls me into a hug.
Mia, I'd like you to meet my fiancé, Eric Vandenberg.
Lily grabs Eric's arm, and when he looks up from his cell phone screen, I recognize him from tabloids. Hello, Eric. I extend my hand. Nice to meet you. He's tall and tan, and the sunglasses perched atop his head make him look laid back and casual. He ignores my outstretched hand and gives me the once-over.
Interesting outfit.
He says. Excuse me?
A sundress in early autumn.
My cheeks flame from anger as much as embarrassment, but Lily laughs off his comment and ushers us both to a nearby table. Eric remains engrossed in his cell phone.
So tell me,
Lily says.
how are you? How's Harvard? When's graduation? What are your long-term plans? Are you planning to set up your own practice or work for one of those legal aid things?
She turns to Eric, who isn't listening, and says,
Mia earned a full scholarship to Harvard. She always wanted to go to law school and change the world.
She turns back to me, beaming with pride I don't deserve for accomplishments I never achieved. I'm fine. My fingers play with the cloth napkin. Lily's expression clouds.
Fine.
She searches my face, and I wish the floor would open and swallow me. I know she spots the bags under my eyes. When her shrewd gaze stops at a stain on my dress, I cringe. I must have missed that in my excitement over the price tag.
Are you?
I cough and reach for my water. Oh, yeah. You know? Yeah. Lily's look makes me uncomfortable.
Why didn't you stay in touch?
She sounds hurt, and I wish I hadn't come. The evening would have been so much more enjoyable at home with Emma. I just, I take another sip of water.
No.
Lily says firmly.
I don't know.
I feel the heat rise from my chest up to my cheeks and into my hairline. I haven't ordered food. I don't think my stomach can tolerate it. I haven't even been here long enough to place an order, but I need to leave before this gets any worse. Look. It's good to see you, Lily, but I have to work later, so I should probably
work.
Lily says it so loudly that Eric momentarily looks up, then decides his phone is more interesting and resumes staring at its screen.
You work here in Cottonwood Falls? Where's your office?
Me and my big mouth. I could kick myself right now. Well, temporarily. Lily stares wide-eyed. After an eternity, she slides a gold-embossed wedding invitation across the table. It has fancy lettering and a small gemstone glued to the center, between Lily's and Eric's names. Lily notices me studying it.
It's real,
She says sassily.
the diamond, that is. Just wanted something a little different.
A real diamond? This single wedding invitation probably cost more than I earn in a week. Lily sees my expression and her face falls.
It's just a sliver. Hardly worth anything. More for show.
There's a long silence, and we listen to bleeps on Eric's phone as he plays a game. I should go. I start to stand, but Lily grabs my hand.
I know my last-minute wedding might be inconvenient, but I hope you'll be there, Mia. Promise you'll try.
Lily's request is sincere and should be easy for me to accept, but it isn't. None of this is easy. I promise, I tell her, even though I'm not someone who can be relied upon to keep promises. I hug Lily and give my best to Eric, who grunts and doesn't bother to look up from his phone. Then I run from the restaurant like my stained secondhand wrong-season thrift store dress is on fire.
Chapter 4. The city sends a limousine to take me to my parents' house, and the crowd that follows from the airport surrounds the car as it pulls into the circular drive. I'm grateful my agent had the foresight to hire security for the weekend. They hold the gathering back as I emerge from the car amid cheers. Waving, I make my way inside where another gathering is amassed. I've never been here, but I viewed pictures when I bought the house for them. I see that Mom personalized the built-in shelves with a couple dozen cat figurines, and she has a museum of kitsch dedicated to Lily and me. There are magazines, gossip rags, and newspaper clippings, and she saved every photo, CD, and taped interview she could get her hands on. There's even a bobblehead doll with my face that creeps me out, if I'm being honest. I exchange hugs and greetings with my parents and their guests. It's nice seeing Mom and Dad, but it's strange having so many of Mom's friends eye me with expressions that don't look right on women whose kids I grew up with. Mrs. Crandall's hug is a little too long, and I swear Johnny Atwater's mom grabbed my ass. When Miss Tate, my third-grade teacher, pulls a hair out of my head for a souvenir, I run out the back door and call a security guard over to keep the crazy biddies inside.
Logan.
Lily runs toward me. Workers buzz around the yard preparing for her big day. I still don't understand her desire to get married in Cottonwood Falls. She and Eric could have flown our parents out to LA. That's what I do whenever they want to see me, fly them to Nashville and set up some sightseeing and some celebrity meet and greets. They love it. Maybe Lily wants to show off a little, show her old friends how well she's done for herself. I get it, and I don't blame her. Although I have no personal interest in them, I appreciate the way hometown girls swooned at my arrival. Lily grabs my arm to steer me as she shows me around.
See all the lights? We're gonna have those Chinese lanterns hanging everywhere in different colors.
Like a disco. I tease. She smacks my arm and continues to rattle off details I don't care about, but I'm content to listen if it makes her happy.
And then I've had a stage built for the mariachi band. And the waiters will all wear imported sea slugs in their lapels.
She sneaks a glance to see if I'm listening. I laugh. I guess I must have let my mind wander. I don't suppose Mia's going to fly in. The question pops out of my mouth before my brain stops it. Lily shrugs.
She's already in town. I met up with her the other day, but something wasn't right about her.
I come to a sudden stop. What do you mean? Lily knows nothing about Mia and me. Not that it was a secret so much as something private that only the two of us shared. We both figured we'd let everyone else know eventually, when we were ready. Then, after the way that it ended, I saw no reason to say anything. Maybe that's one of the reasons I've never been able to get Mia off my mind. I don't have many private moments these days.
Oh, I don't know.
Lily continues absent-mindedly surveying the yard.
Her dress. I don't know.
She shrugs again.
She looks tired.
I feel my brow furrow, and I'm glad there aren't any reporters in the yard to capture my scowl. Maybe she is. I mean, undergrad studies at Harvard are tough. Maybe it's getting to her.
Maybe. Logan, I don't think she even has a car. I can't imagine where she must be living. It's not with her parents. I heard they kicked her out and don't even speak to her anymore.
Wait a second. I stop short again and turn to my sister. You don't mean she's living here? In Cottonwood Falls? Lily shrugs, and I wish she'd stop doing that.
I'm not sure. I tried talking to her but couldn't get a single honest answer from her.
Lily continues leading me around the yard, pointing out stuff that I managed to ooh and ah about, but Mia has completely crowded out all other thoughts. After a while, Lily waves to security, signaling that it's okay to let through a group of girls she went to high school with. I can't help but search the faces, hoping maybe Mia is with them, but no such luck. As they chat though, I hear Lily ask about Mia.
Oh, she works at Smart Mart. Didn't you two keep in touch?
I do a double take. Smart Mart? The girl nods.
Yeah, she's been working there for years.
What on earth could have dragged Mia back here after Harvard? Surely she could have gotten a better job than working at Smart Mart.
She's kind of a loser,
The girl adds, and I glare at her until her shoulders hunch and she stares at the ground. I don't know why I feel the need to defend whatever choices Mia's made, but it's infuriating. I wish I could just stay bitter and resentful, rather than have my protective instincts kick into overdrive at the mere mention of her name. The girls keep taking turns trying to flirt with me, and when one of them whispers something suggestive in my ear, I shake her off and make my exit. It's time to find Mia and figure out what the hell is going on.
Chapter 5. Another midnight shift. That is to say, it started at 9 p.m. and will end at 5 a.m. I lean against the register. This is my third in a row, punishment for snubbing Rainer again. I don't even know why Smart Mart is open 24 hours. Hardly anyone comes in after 11. I stand at the cash register playing with my shoe and trying to think of inventive ways to make it more comfortable. I stand on my tiptoes, lean back on my heels, then look around before pulling my foot out of its shoe entirely for a moment of sweet relief. Rainer's watching from across the aisle, but he can't see my toes wiggle. I smile as though I'm having the best darn shift ever. He scowls and walks off in the opposite direction. Hours pass. At least it feels like hours. But when I look at the clock, it's only 1:30. So far I've had exactly 3 customers since 11. I open the employee handbook and prop it on the register, hoping that if Mr. Rainer sees me, he'll think I'm reading it. Then I let my eyes flutter shut. My eyes can't have been closed very long, but when a deep voice penetrates the darkness, I startle.
Hey.
My eyelids snap open and my head jerks to attention. I'm not sure, but I think I fell asleep standing up. Is that possible? Sorry. I brush a strand of hair behind my ear. I was just... When I look up, I wonder if I'm still asleep. This must be a dream. Crap. Wake up. Wake up. When the image before me refuses to vanish, it's clear I'm trapped in a living nightmare. This is the most humiliating moment of my life. Worse than that dinner with Lily and her disinterested fiancé. Logan Kent is standing in front of me looking like he just stepped off the cover of GQ, while I'm behind a register in my beige Smart Mart frock, worn tennis shoes and faded jeans.
Didn't mean to scare you.
He flashes his $1 million smile, and I hate him. How am I supposed to respond to that smile? I stare blankly. Not to be rude, but because I'm embarrassed. Mortified.
How are you?
He asks. It's a perfectly normal question, but the awkwardness of this situation is so heavy it almost makes the air around me unbreathable. When I don't answer, he tries again.
Do you work here?
I grin tightly and tap my name tag.
Right.
He smiles his $1 million smile again, but I'm busy looking for Mr. Rainer. If I can point out that my boss is wandering the aisles, it'll be a great excuse to get rid of Logan. Unfortunately, the one and only time in my entire Smart Mart career that I actually want to see the creep, he's nowhere around. Probably in the back office watching porn. Figuring it's better to talk to Logan than to stand here mute, I lie. I'm fine. More silence. I guess I don't have to ask how you are. I motion to the magazine rack where his face graces the cover of not one but 2 celebrity gossip magazines. He strokes his lightly stubbled jaw and my thighs clench at the simple gesture.
Don't believe everything you read in the tabloids.
His eyes are just like I remember. Crystal blue and hypnotic. Well? I soften a little. How are you then?
Fine.
We stand opposite one another, nodding our heads as though there aren't 1,000 things to say, and both of us lack the courage to say them. What the hell is Logan Kent doing here? No doubt he's in town for Lily's wedding, but why would he step foot in SmartMart? As if reading my mind, Logan says,
I heard you worked here. I came looking for you.
My stupid heart thumps like a bongo drum in my chest and my mouth goes dry. Me? My voice quivers. Why? He looks at me like I'm nuts.
What do you mean why? Because? Because?
He's stammering. It's cute. Then he points a finger at me.
Because you and I have unfinished business.
My face falls. Oh my God. Does he know about Emma?
What time does your shift end?
Not until 5.
In the morning.
His eyes bulge and I almost laugh. That's right. And you need to leave before I get in trouble. He doesn't know about Emma. He can't. He's probably hoping to finagle a little action for old time's sake.
Listen, Mia. I've missed you.
No. No, he didn't just say that. Miss me? The man is photographed with a different gorgeous woman every month. I see them on magazine covers from right here, where I stand in my polyester frock and uncomfortable shoes taking abuse from customers who are miserable with their lives. Logan Kent does not miss me. My stupid heart might long for it to be true, but my mind knows better. I doubt he's thought of me in years. My boss is coming. I'm just trying to get rid of him. Mr. Rayner's probably in the back sleeping.
I'm not.
Please leave, Logan, before you get me fired. There's genuine hurt in his eyes, and for a second I feel bad. Then my eyes land on the magazine rack, and a photo of Logan with some tall, leggy blonde wrapped around him. After several minutes of silence, Logan turns and leaves the store and my shoulders finally relax. Then I burst into tears.
Chapter 6. At 5 a.m., I begin to question my sanity. Mia seems oblivious to my charm. I hit her full on with my smile, but she was unaffected. I told her I miss her, but she didn't react. So why am I standing outside waiting for her like a schmuck? I release a bitter laugh. Does she even know that all my love songs, all my tear your heart out breakup songs, every song I ever wrote was inspired by her? I want to tell her that and so much more. Mostly though, I want to ask her why she gave up on us. When I look up, she's crossing the parking lot. Mia! She jumps and looks around wildly. Sorry, I say as I approach. Did I scare you? Her hand is clutching her heart over the ugly beige uniform she's wearing.
I'm not used to being stalked.
Well, you can't blame a guy. You're a beautiful woman. I say it teasingly, but she is. She's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, and as I stare into her eyes, the blood rushes to my cock and I feel myself grow stiff behind the zipper of my jeans. This was a dumb idea. A blush stains her cheeks. I want her as much as I ever did.
You too,
she says.
You look good, I mean.
We almost share a moment, almost. Then she suddenly does a 180. Her softness vanishes and her eyes darken.
I need to go.
She turns abruptly on her heel and stomps off. I can't believe it. She just walked away from me. Again. Hey. I jog after her. I came all this way to see you. Won't you at least spare me a conversation? Let me buy you breakfast. She pauses mid-stride, and I use her hesitancy to my advantage. How about Marge's on Main? Where's your car? You can follow me.
I don't have a car.
She says it as though that exempts her from wanting breakfast.
I have to get home. I don't have time for Marge's diner.
Not willing to let her slip away, I rack my brain for solutions. How about butter buns? The bakery should be open. Everyone has time for a fresh hot donut. I'm aware I'm pathetic in making a damn fool of myself just to spend a few more minutes in her presence. She looks uncertain. It takes 5 minutes, Mia. Come on. It'll be time you save from having to walk home.
We can eat in the car, right? As you drive?
Yeah, whatever you want. It's official. I'm a simp. I'm chasing a woman who can't get away from me fast enough and even accused me of stalking. Not only that, I remind myself, but she dumped you in an email. Crushed your heart, pulverized it to smithereens, disintegrated it to dust. Why am I so eager to please her? The question is hypothetical. I know why. Because of all the women I've known, and I've known quite a few, I've never loved anyone like I do Mia. Did. Like I did. Oh hell, who am I kidding? I still love her. Truth is, I probably always will. I feel a touch of pride when Mia's eyes widen before she slides into the passenger seat of my Corvette.
Is this a rental?
No. I bought it for my dad a while back. I'm just borrowing it while I'm in town.
Oh.
I was hoping to impress her, but judging by her tone, I failed. In the confined space, I notice her scent is the same. Soap, shampoo, or just her naturally sweet fragrance, I don't know, but the memories her scent evokes wash over me in a sentimental flood. As we drive, Mia opens then closes her mouth several times. What is it, Mia? Spit it out. She hesitates.
Do you think it would be okay if I got an extra donut to take home?
That's her question. I'll buy her a dozen donuts. A dozen. Absolutely. As soon as the words are out of my mouth, I realize what a dumbass I am. Of course she has a boyfriend waiting at home. Why else would she ask that? Forget Butterbun's Bakery. I'm taking her home like she wanted. Where do you live? My voice comes out harsher than I intend, but here I am with a cock as hard as granite, and she expects me to buy donuts for her goddamn lover.
Belle Vista Apartments,
she mumbles, not meeting my eyes. On East 6th. That neighborhood is full of nothing but prostitutes, junkies, and low-life thugs. That's where your boyfriend lives? I can't keep the disgust out of my voice.
No.
She snaps defensively.
That's where I live.
Now I see what Lily meant. Something isn't right. As I approach a building that looks as though it's a hovel for homeless squatters, I stare her down. Mia, what's going on?
Watch the road.
Swerving, I just miss some tweaker who stumbles out in front of my car. He looks as though he doesn't even know what planet he's on. I pull up to the curb. Answer the question.
What do you mean?
I mean, why are you working at Smart Mart and living in a roach motel? Why aren't you at Harvard? Her bottom lip trembles and I feel like a total dick for yelling, but she's killing me with her vague answers, sad smiles, and beautiful but haunted eyes.
I.
What? I say softly. Just tell me, babe. Tears leak from her eyes and I want to comfort her, but I need answers first.
I never went to Harvard.
A sob escapes her lips.
I never left Cottonwood Falls.
I'm stunned. Mia is out the door, and before I can shake myself out of my stupor and go after her, she disappears inside a building that looks as though it needs to be condemned.
Chapter 7. I want to spend my day off with Emma, but Lily's driving me crazy with the texting. Fortunately, the wedding is in 2 days. Then both Lily and Logan will be gone. Unfortunately, avoiding her only creates more questions, and Logan's already suspicious. I agree to meet Lily at her parents' for lunch, telling Tara, who's making a fortune off me, that I'll only be a couple of hours. It's a hike from the bus stop, but at least the ritzy neighborhood is safe. I heard about the bougie place Logan bought his parents after his debut album went platinum, but seeing it in person is breathtaking. It's done up for the wedding with Chinese lanterns strung along the driveway as though they're floating in midair. Mrs. Kent answers the door and pulls me into a hug the moment she sees me. I always liked her.
Mia. I didn't know you were in town, sweetheart.
I never left. But the Kents no longer shop at Smart Mart, and my life is too boring to serve as gossip fodder among the country club crowd. We exchange pleasantries, and I'm relieved when Mrs. Kent gets called away by the wedding planner before she can ask any prying questions. I find Lily upstairs in a bedroom that's bigger than my apartment. It's decorated in French lace and looks as though it's ready for Architectural Digest. The first thing out of Lily's mouth is,
"So Smart Mart, huh? What happened to Harvard?"
"I guess we're dispensing with formalities." I raise a shoulder nonchalantly. Life doesn't always work out according to plan. I study Lily surrounded by designer clothes, custom furnishings, and plush carpet. Yours and Logan's are exceptions. Lily stares up from where she's seated on her bed, her expression somber.
"Was it drugs?"
"No." I burst out laughing. "It wasn't drugs." She heaves a sigh of relief.
"Thank God. Though I wouldn't judge if it was, and I'd totally help you."
I appreciate that. When Lily smiles, it's clear why the camera loves her. She has perfect bone structure, perfectly pouty lips, perfect blonde hair, and perfect big blue eyes. Of the two of us, she attracted all the attention. I never blamed her. It's not her fault she's beautiful. Or that every boy that showed interest in me did so to get to Lily. Every boy but one.
So,
Lily winks conspiratorially.
was it a guy?
The blood drains from my face. Logan and I kept our relationship secret because we wanted to spend time in our own little world before we broke the news to everyone else. And we weren't sure how Lily would react. In the end, she'd been one of my lame excuses for breaking things off. I told Logan that in addition to the fact that we were headed in different directions, me to Harvard and Logan to Nashville, I feared our relationship would ruin my friendship with Lily. See? Lame. At that moment there's a knock and Logan enters. His eyes register surprise and I look away, embarrassed by the way I left things yesterday morning. Logan stands still as a statue until Lily finally says,
"Well, do you want something?"
Yeah. Mom wants to know how many of those little swan thingies go on each table.
Lily gasps in alarm.
"Those don't go on tables."
She jumps up and runs to the door, pausing to point a finger at me.
"We're not done here. And you're coming to the rehearsal dinner if I have to drag you there myself."
She turns to Logan.
"Talk her into it, will you?"
Then she runs shrieking down the stairs to keep her mom from destroying the wedding by placing swan thingies on tables. Logan and I are alone. There's an awkward silence before he says,
"So let's talk."
"About what?"
"About everything. Why are you living in that neighborhood? What happened to Harvard?
His jaw ticks.
And what happened to us?"
He takes a step forward and I wish I could run, but my feet are lead weights.
"The last time I saw you."
He doesn't finish his sentence. He doesn't need to finish. The last time we saw each other was my 18th birthday. We made love that night and whispered promises that seem incredibly naive now. To stay together. To have each other's backs. To be honest with each other. And to always love one another. I broke every one of them. Except that last one.
"Why did you dump me?"
I wanted to defend myself, but how? I sent him an email with lame reasons why we couldn't be together anymore, because I couldn't tell him the truth. That I did it so he could follow his dream. He'd said the worst thing that could happen to us was a baby. And I agreed at the time. Then 2 months later, after he left for Nashville, I learned the truth about what I'd thought was stomach flu and everything changed. I had a choice to make. I knew if I told him, Logan would abandon his fledgling career, come home, and probably get a job at Faro Construction to support us. He'd cast his dream aside to work a job that slowly ate away at his soul day by day and year by year. I couldn't bear that. But things are different now. Logan's career is established. Is it too late to tell him about Emma? Will he hate me for keeping her from him? He deserves to know, even if he wants nothing to do with her, but now's not the right time. I said everything in the email. He studies me.
"Fine. Don't explain."
With a stern jaw and hard eyes, he takes a step forward. Then another. I instinctively back up until I'm against the wall, but he keeps coming until his body is flush with mine, and goosebumps break out over every inch of my flesh.
"But you owe me for the way you left."
He's so close that his warm breath washes over me, and my nipples pebble into needy little peaks.
"And you're going to pay."
I swallow hard. How?
"By being my date for Lily's wedding. And the rehearsal dinner."
Oh God, his erection is digging into my stomach, and my knees are weak. I have to work.
"At Smart Mart?"
He cocks a brow sarcastically. "Yes, at Smart Mart," I snap. "How else are me and M?" My blood freezes when I realize what I almost said. Logan looks as if he's about to question me, and afraid he'll ask about Emma, I say the only thing I can think of to shut him up. "I'll be your date." His eyes narrow suspiciously. "Please tell Lily I had to leave," I blurt out before I manage to wriggle away, race down the stairs and shoot out the door. I don't stop running until I reach the bus stop.
Chapter 8. It's a joke among the townsfolk here that on every street corner you'll find either a church or a bar. The moment I enter Beau's bunkhouse, I'm hit with a wave of nostalgia. I probably know everyone in the place. A group of guys I went to high school with is in the corner.
It's the country superstar.
Johnny slaps my back. As I'm plied with questions about Nashville touring and other recording artists, I order shot after shot, hoping that, with enough alcohol, I'll stop seeing Mia's haunted eyes. At one point, a guitar is thrust at me, and I do what comes naturally. I play. The shots don't stop, but alcohol doesn't hinder my ability. In fact, every word of every song becomes more poignant, and I may have added Mia's name to a couple. It's not until I take a break that I notice cell phones recording me. My publicist will ride my ass about that. When I stand, the room tilts. Wow, how'd I get so drunk so fast? Hey Rob, what time is it?
Midnight 30.
Rob's drunk too. Wait. I've been here for over 3 hours. I gotta go, I announce with a slurred voice to whoever's listening.
What do you mean?
Anthony snarls.
You got a McMansion and you're too stingy to party with old friends.
Yeah,
Someone yells.
we're just getting started. Don't stiff us, man.
Angie from 9th grade biology class sneers.
I bought all your CDs and you can't buy me a couple drinks?
I need a new car.
Johnny shouts. He's grinning, but it doesn't reach his eyes. I'm beginning to think that rather than the childhood friend he played Little League with, he sees me as a big dollar sign. They all do. I'm suddenly uncomfortable, but signal to the bartender to give everyone a round on me. When I return from the men's room, the walls are spinning. Time to go. $4,000. I close an eye as I study the bill, thinking my double vision added a zero. Then it clicks. Even in my inebriated state, I realize that all night, everyone in this packed bar has been charging drinks to me. And the bartender is in on it. I don't care about the money. I don't like to be used, and that's what these people are doing. My so-called friends are as blood-sucking as the vultures in Nashville. Disgusted, I hand the bartender my Amex Black card and vow never to return to Bo's bunkhouse. As I stumble to my car, I know I'm in no condition to drive, so I sit staring out the windshield. I need to see Mia. The pavement is a little lopsided, and as I start walking toward East 6th, it strikes me that the only person in this town who hasn't asked me for anything is Mia. Yet she's the one I'd give everything to. Before I know it, I'm standing outside Belle Vista shithole apartments wondering which one is Mia's. Fuck it. Mia? I shout at the top of my lungs. Mia? We need to talk. I want answers. Mia? I'll scream until I'm hoarse. Not good for my vocal cords, but bomb for my heartache. A light goes on in a third-floor window and Mia's head pokes out. She squints, then rubs her eyes.
Logan?
I feel like Richard Gere in Pretty Woman calling up to Julia Roberts, and inspiration hits when I notice the fire escape near her window. So I pull down the ladder and start to climb. Mia's eyes grow wide. She shuts the window. That's not a good sign. But I won't be deterred. When I reach the third floor, her window's closed. But not locked. So I pry it open. Why does she look horrified?
Logan? You can't come in here. What are you doing?
But I already have a foot inside. I'm rescuing you.
From what?
Yourself. As I maneuver inside, Mia's palms press my shoulders, trying to push me back outside, but it's too late. I'm in. I'm not leaving until you explain yourself, I slur.
You're drunk.
Yes? I am. So.
Logan, lower your voice.
Why? Afraid your neighbors might hear. Well, I don't care. Let the world know. That's when a sleepy, dewy-eyed little girl with blonde hair and Mia's button nose walks into the room.
Mommy?
The child eyes me warily and clings to Mia's leg. Mia glares. I'm stunned stupid.
It's okay, sweetie.
Mia comforts.
This is Logan. He's Mommy's old friend. He's just really silly. Logan, this is Emma. My daughter.
My heart stops. Seconds pass. It hits me like a blow to the gut that Emma has Mia's smile.
Let's get you back to bed, okay? Logan's sorry he was so loud and moronic.
As Mia ushers Emma to her room, I remain glued to the floor. Mia has a daughter. When? How? I mean, I know how, but... Oh shit. The girl is small, but she must be about 3 years old. When Mia returns, I have so many questions I don't know where to start. Emma? I pause, my brain jumbled. How old is she? Mia turns her head a fraction to hide her eyes.
3.
Suddenly I feel sober. Is she mine? Mia laughs humorlessly and refuses to meet my eyes. Is she mine? I repeat. Finally, Mia looks up.
You're drunk. There's a pillow and blanket on the couch. You can sleep it off here, but please leave before my daughter wakes up.
Then she turns on her heel and leaves me alone with my crazy thoughts. It's not lost on me that she never answered my question.
Chapter 9. Last week I read my horoscope in one of the tabloids and I've regretted it ever since. It said I'm cursed with bad luck. Forever. Okay, it didn't say forever, but I read between the lines. As I lay in the dark staring at the ceiling, I feel the weight of that curse. What do I do now? Continue lying to Logan? Is that fair to Emma? I kept quiet about her for a good reason and with good intentions, and I don't regret it. But that reason no longer exists. I don't want Logan's money. I don't want anything from him, but is it fair of me at this point to continue making choices that affect everyone? What if Logan wants to be in Emma's life? What if he wants to support her? Emma deserves that. And if he doesn't? I have to tell Logan before he leaves for Nashville. I'll wait until after the wedding, then tell him. If he hates me, fine. If he wants nothing to do with Emma, fine. If he wants to be in her life, then I'll have to share her. I hate the thought of sharing her, but I want what's best for Emma. Sleep is a pipe dream at this point. Especially with Logan in the next room. It's been over an hour. He must be sawing logs by now. A smile curls my lips as I think about him scaling the fire escape to rescue me from myself. Rolling out of bed, I tiptoe into the living room to find him asleep on the couch. His breathing is shallow and worry lines crease his brow. He's bigger now, more muscular, but still as handsome as he was the summer night I snuck out my bedroom window to go to my spot by the waterfall and learned it was Logan's spot too. He was already there with his guitar when I sat next to him. I'd crushed on my best friend's brother forever, but didn't stand a chance with dweeby boys my own age, much less a talented, handsome, older boy whom all the girls wanted. Typical me would have run as soon as I saw him, but I'd had a crap night. My uber-strict, ultra-religious parents picked me up from the police station, after a party Lily convinced me to attend got raided. When my parents learned that not only were boys present but there'd been alcohol, my father beat me with a belt while my mother read Bible verses and called me Jezebel. Then they had Pastor Owens lecture me about sins of immorality and temptations of the flesh. Like a band-aid, Logan's music soothed me that night. We met frequently after that. He played music or we just talked. When the weather turned, we hung out in his car and talked about everything. I told him about my dream of getting a law degree and helping impoverished victims, and he told me about wanting to share his music with the world. As I lean over Logan, assessing his similarities to Emma, a longing reopens, and that part of me that has been dormant for 4 years, the part that belonged to a younger, more carefree woman, begins to come alive. I'm close enough to feel his breath on my face when his eyes fly open and I scream. Shit. I slap a hand over my mouth. Don't scare me like that.
Don't scare you. You're the one hovering while I sleep.
While you pretend to sleep. Weirdo. I'm still catching my breath. We glower at each other before the corner of his mouth turns up, and we both burst out laughing. It feels so good to laugh that for a moment I forget all the secrets and lies. Shush. I press a finger to my lips. Emma. He sits up.
Let's go to your room and talk.
That's a bad idea. A very bad idea. Yet I melt under his smoldering gaze like an ice cube in the hot sun. Okay, but I'm not ready to discuss Emma. I wait for his nod before leading him into my tiny room with a twin bed, worn dresser, and threadbare mattress. There's nowhere to sit except the bed, and as soon as we're inside, the energy in the room is electric. Supercharged particles dance between us like they always do when we're together. As the door closes, Logan says,
So, about Emma.
My eyes narrow.
Okay.
He holds his hands up.
How about this? Tell me you don't still care about me.
I can't, so I look away. He places a finger under my chin, tilting my face to his.
Tell me the truth, Mia.
My eyes close to escape his penetrating gaze. The lie is on my lips, but I'm so tired of lying. I never stopped caring. The moment it's out, I hold my breath. Silence. When I open my eyes, Logan's wearing a shit-eating grin.
Knew it.
Then he shocks me by reaching out and tickling me. It's so unexpected that I squeal and almost fall off the bed, but Logan catches me, scooping me into his arms. Logan is huge and heavily muscled now, and when he rolls onto his side pulling me with him, there's not much room left on the bed. I try to put an inch of space between us, but his hold is too powerful. And my attraction is too strong to fight it. The slickness coating my inner thighs reminds me that I'm not wearing panties tonight under my nightshirt. We stare into each other's eyes, then he leans in and lightly brushes his lips over mine. My body trembles.
I still love you, Mia.
He whispers.
Always have. Always will.
Before I can respond, his mouth is on mine and I'm writhing under him, my heart clanging against my ribcage as his large hand cups my head. Our tongues tangle. Wetness floods my core, and he kisses me with demanding ferocity. I've never experienced such ravenous hunger, such fierce possessiveness. When we break away gasping for air, a realization hits and tears pool in my eyes. Here in his arms I feel protected and safe, for the first time in years.
Hey.
Logan brushes away a tear.
You okay, baby?
Well, now I feel foolish. I'm fine. I just didn't know how much I missed you until now.
Chapter 10. She misses me. I'm still head over heels for this girl. Mia and I used to spend hours talking, listening to music, or doing nothing but existing in each other's presence, and I could never get enough of her. I still craved more. My lips pepper kisses along her collarbone. I miss everything about you, Mia. Her breathing is erratic, and her pulse flutters rapidly in her neck. I still have so many questions. Why is she caring for a child on her own? What happened? Did someone hurt her? Is that why she doesn't want to talk about it? If I find out someone hurt her, I'll make them wish they'd never been born. She moans as I reach under her nightshirt and stroke my fingertips up her soaked folds. I've dreamt of this moment for years, of having you in my arms again. Her fingers thread through my hair and her body trembles beneath mine. I want you tonight, Mia. Don't deny me. In the back of my mind, I'd planned to have a long conversation first, but here I am with the woman whose essence is woven like everlasting threads through my soul. And here she is, warm and plush and exquisitely pliant in my arms. I don't want to talk to Mia tonight. I want to fuck her. Tugging her nightshirt up her generous curves and over her head, I rake my hungry gaze over her, and my heart lodges in my throat. Gorgeous. Her breasts have changed slightly, and as I feel the weight of them in my hands, I can't resist taking each of them in turn into my mouth and rolling my tongue over her pretty pebbled nipples. My mouth slides along her body, tasting her, devouring her to the music of her breathy sighs and moans. Once again we're in our own world, Mia and me, and this is what I've been longing for over the past 4 years, the connection between us that makes me whole. Her hips are a little wider, and her stomach a little softer. I love every inch of her, and I kiss every one of her sexy stretch marks on the way to savoring the taste of her arousal. My cock is trying to burst through my jeans. I feel as though I might die if I can't be inside her. Mia was made for me, and 4 years is an eternity to spend away from your other half. My hand hovers over my zipper. Are you sure about this? I direct the question to Mia, but really I'm asking myself. When she dumped me, Mia broke my heart about as badly as a heart can be broken, and every woman I've used to try to fill the void Mia left has paled in comparison. Am I ready to trust her with my heart a second time? Her curves are so decadent, and her raven hair shines so brilliantly in the moonlight that my reservations are pushed to the wayside when she answers.
Yes. I'm sure.
In seconds we're both naked, and thankfully, my mind decides to play along for now and block out questions, fears, and doubts as I sink into her warm wet pussy and our bodies meld. Mia. Her name emerges from my throat in a raw, ragged breath. Mia moans, arching her back, and my heart, which has been dormant for too long, beats wildly in my chest. I've never felt so alive. I've played stadiums, coliseums, and festivals, even the Grand Ole Opry, but I've never felt as alive as I do inside this woman. My hips pick up the pace. I can't stop them if I try. My body knows this woman belongs to me just like my heart does. Her pelvis rises to meet mine as I thrust rhythmically into her. Moonlight invades the room through flimsy curtains, causing Mia's dark eyes to sparkle. Mia's nails sink into my back. Her lips part, her neck arches, and her eyes roll back. She clamps around me so hard I moan, and when her walls begin spasming, my orgasm follows. I've left home, chased my dreams, and achieved success. I've worked hard and played hard, and along the way, I've learned one immutable fact. This woman is mine. I'm not letting Mia walk away this time. Not without a fight. Scratch that. Fight or no fight, I'm keeping her.
Chapter 11. My eyelids battle desperately to remain shut, but bright sunlight seeps through. Last night was? Wow. There are no words. Sounds are coming from the living room. Voices. Laughter. I roll off the bed and throw on a t-shirt and jeans. I don't have to be at work for a few hours yet. I expect to find Tara in the living room with Emma, so the sight of Logan takes me aback. It never occurred to me he might still be here. I blink incredulously when Emma fist bumps him, then falls to the floor amid peals of laughter. Blonde ringlets circle her head like a halo, and she runs over when she sees me.
Mommy!
Logan was supposed to be gone. I throw him a look that says I'm not happy about this, but then wonder why I shouldn't be. Logan's playing with his daughter, and for the first time Emma is with her father. Only neither of them knows it. This is so wrong. My heart floods with emotion as I make my way to the couch and sink into the tattered cushions.
You okay?
Logan crouches in front of me, concern etched on his face. He takes my hands in his, and I can't exactly tell him I'm drowning in guilt. Fine. Just thirsty. It's all I can come up with on the spot. Logan stands and is out of the room in 2 strides. I hear him shuffling around before he calls.
Don't you have anything to drink? Orange juice or something?
I need to go shopping. In truth, I'm trying to stretch groceries a few more days until the monthly allotment is loaded onto our low-income food card. Water's fine. I hear the fridge open and amend tap water. Emma lays her head on my lap and I stroke her hair.
I like him,
she whispers. Logan appears with a warped plastic cup that I'm sure is the best he could find in my cupboard, then scoops up a giggling Emma and says,
Get dressed, ladies, I'm taking you to breakfast.
I shake my head, but Emma is already out of his arms and running around the room, squealing and wiggling her bottom, doing the dance she does when she's excited. I have to work. I hate being a killjoy, but this is not an optimal situation and I need time to think. I know Logan already suspects, but he and I need to have an adult conversation before we break it to Emma. I mean, I can't very well just blurt out, Hey guys, before we go to breakfast there's something you should know. Logan, yes, Emma is your daughter, and Emma, meet your dad. I need to explain things to him. We need to discuss what we're going to say to her, and our expectations going forward. One thing I'm pretty sure of after seeing them interact, is that Logan will want to be a part of Emma's life. Does that mean she'll have to visit him in Nashville? How will that work? I'm not putting my almost 4-year-old on a plane traveling cross-country by herself. See, adult conversation needs to happen first.
No, you don't. The rehearsal is this afternoon and you're my date. We'll go to breakfast, then I have to help Lily, and I'll be back around 2 to pick you up.
I try to protest, but Logan's stubborn face is set, and Emma's flapping around the room like a butterfly. I know when I'm defeated. Emma rides on Logan's shoulders as we walk a few streets over to a somewhat respectable diner. The vinyl booths have permanent butt imprints, the Formica tabletops are chipped, the linoleum flooring is cracked. But it's clean and the silverware sparkles. Logan keeps staring at Emma. I see the wheels in his brain turning, doing calculations and studying her features and mannerisms, until I want to yell at him to stop.
So Emma,
he says while I cut Emma's pancakes into bite-sized pieces.
Where's your dad?
The fork falls out of my hand and clatters to the plate. I have to bite my lip to keep from doling out a verbal tongue lashing. Instead, I kick Logan under the table. But it's too late.
My daddy is famous and lives far away in Nasty Village.
Then to my utter horror, she gets up on her knees, leans closer to Logan and whispers,
Don't talk about him. It makes Mommy sad.
She turns her small head to smile compassionately at me, and I'm so consumed by guilt I can barely breathe. Breakfast was a terrible idea. Why did I agree to it? I should have kept the two of them apart until after the wedding, when I had time to discuss things with them individually. It's time to go. We'll have to cut breakfast short. Emma looks down at the pancakes she's only taken 2 bites of, and her eyes well up.
I'm not done.
Eating out is a huge treat. I can count on one hand the times Emma and I have eaten at a restaurant. Take big bites, I bark. My voice softens when I add, I have to work.
We have a date.
Logan shoots me a menacing look.
You're going to the wedding rehearsal with me.
Wedding.
Emma practically shouts. My girly girl is fascinated by weddings, the fancy cakes, floral arrangements, and especially the dresses.
Mommy, who's getting married?
An old friend. Emma scrunches her face.
Logan.
I know why she asked that. Emma's never before met a friend of mine because I don't really have any friends anymore, and I did introduce Logan to her as an old friend. Not Logan. I look up to see his amused expression.
Can I go?
Emma presses her little palms together in a prayer pose. No, honey. Now hurry and finish your food. Emma's face crumbles, and hating my daughter's dejected expression, I add, neither of us is going. We don't have dresses. Logan's arms cross over his chest.
What kind of dress do you want?
Pretty princess party dress size small.
Emma rattles off.
It's at Mommy's work.
Oh God, she has the entire label memorized. We're not going. I slam my hand on the table, startling all 3 of us and drawing looks from other diners. Red-faced, I drag Emma to the door and carry her home. Logan follows at a distance, but as soon as we reach apartment 3C, I dart inside and shut the door in Logan's face. I'm officially a raging bitch.
Chapter 12. I'm in the middle of tacking up a string of lights that yesterday's strong winds knocked down when Lily pokes my rib.
Where were you last night?
She smiles slyly. Out, I snarl. Her eyes flicker with annoyance, but she continues.
Out where? With whom?
Nowhere. I move away and grass crunches under her feet as she follows.
What's with you? My wedding's tomorrow. You're supposed to be nice to the bride-to-be.
This is me being nice. She scowls, then finally gives up on my foul mood. I stare after her, feeling guilty for snapping. She hasn't done anything. I'm just pissed. Last night, making love to Mia for the 2nd time was the 2nd best night of my life, and I want more. My cock starts to harden just thinking about the way it felt having her in my arms again, the changes that have transformed her figure, and how she's gotten even fucking hotter. And she slammed the door in my face. The more I think of Mia, the angrier I get. She cut me off years ago without any explanation, unless you count that bullshit about damaging her friendship with Lily. Emma is 3. The last time, the only other time, that Mia and I had sex was 4 years ago. Emma even resembles me, and Lily too in some ways. Mia has brown eyes. Emma's are blue. Mia's hair is almost black. Emma's is lighter like mine and Lily's. Everything fits. There's also that stuff Emma said. Mia might have made up a story to tell Emma about her dad being famous and living far away, but what if it's true? A nasty village. I assumed Emma made that up, but if Mia said her dad lives in Nashville, Emma's 3-year-old mind could have converted that to Nastyville and then to Nasty Village. Although I might be reaching with that one. I'm 99% sure she's mine. I just need confirmation from Mia. And an explanation. I scale the stairs to the bedroom Lily and Eric are using. Eric has somehow managed to hide out since his arrival, only crawling out of his hole for meals. I honestly don't know what my sister sees in him. The guy's a douche, but try convincing Lily of anything. I tap on the door, lightly at first, but when Lily doesn't answer, it turns into pounding.
For God's sake.
Lily screams from down the hall.
I'm in here.
I march down the hall to find her in a makeshift fitting room wearing her veil. What are you doing?
Trying to decide which earrings will look the best tomorrow.
She turns her face from one side to the other. Her voice is short, and she doesn't look at me. She's mad. I apologize for snapping. Though she tries to keep her expression cold and aloof, her eyes catch my reflection in the mirror, and I know I'm forgiven.
Did you convince Mia to attend the rehearsal tonight?
I ignore her question and pose one of my own. Before this week, when was the last time you talked to Mia?
I left tons of texts and voicemails the first year I moved to LA but rarely heard back from her. Eventually, I just stopped. It's been a good 3 years or more since we've talked. Why?
How'd she go from Harvard to SmartMart overnight? Lily shrugs, then removes a pearl earring and replaces it with dangling diamonds. Don't Mom and Dad know anything? Or some of your friends from school? It's a small town. Someone must know something.
You'd think, right? But apparently, Mia turned into a super mysterious loner. She never attends parties or shows up at local bars or the dance hall. She doesn't go anywhere or do anything. The only thing anyone seems to know is that she works at SmartMart.
Lily fluffs her veil.
I feel bad for her. It sounds like she has zero social life and a sucky job. No wonder she hides. She's probably miserable.
Mia lives in a dangerous neighborhood, works a shit job, and is doing a damn fine job raising a daughter that no one seems to know exists. The fact that they live in poverty is something I plan to change, whether Emma's my child or not. I doubt Mia will take handouts, but I'll figure a way. You don't know anything else? I try to conceal my irritation. Lily turns suspicious eyes on me.
No. Why do you care so much?
Curiosity, I snap. I'm being a real dick here, and I know it. She didn't? Did she, have a boyfriend or date anyone seriously? Were any guys interested in her? Lily rolls her eyes and sighs.
Mia? No. She was always more of a wallflower. I don't think Mia's aware of her own beauty. Maybe she's self-conscious about her weight.
Not all men like thin, I hiss.
I know.
Lily's suspicious eyes observe me in the mirror. I should shut up, I know it, but I don't. Mia's gorgeous, and the more someone gets to know her, the more beautiful she becomes.
Uh-huh.
Lily blinks, blatantly staring at me now. Did you ever think that when you're around, you monopolize every room you're in, giving Mia no choice but to retreat into the background? From someone else this might be an insult, but my sis knows I love her.
Not my fault, I'm a goddess.
Maybe Mia is overshadowed because you're a spoiled brat, with the world revolves around me attitude. My sister tries hard to remain straight-faced and keep from laughing, but it's obvious she has me figured out.
I'm not spoiled.
She turns from side to side, admiring herself in the full-length mirror.
Much?
As I storm out of the room, vowing not to leave Cottonwood Falls until I get Mia to open up and tell me the truth, a text comes through and I glance down at my phone. It's from Mia.
Chapter 13. My eyes flit to the clock on the wall again. I don't know whether Logan will show. I felt so guilty after breakfast that I finally sent a text to an old number I have for Logan, saying that I will go to the stupid dinner. Not in those words, of course. To my surprise, the number's still current, and he texted back saying he'd be here at 2. So I called Rainer and told him Emma was sick. I'll pay for that, I'm sure. It's 2:30 and Logan still isn't here. I'm about to tell Tara that I don't need her after all when there's a knock. I open the door to Logan holding 2 bouquets. When he hands one to me and one to Emma, my heart melts. I put the flowers in water while Emma tries to crawl up Logan's leg. I won't be too long, I tell Tara and kiss Emma's head. It's not until we're in the car that it dawns on me. Logan hasn't said one word to me. He spoke to Emma, even said hello to Tara, but nothing to me. I glance at him from the corner of my eye. I'm sorry about my behavior at breakfast, I say with sincerity. He doesn't respond. Emma loved the pancakes. He at least looks at me this time. I feel myself getting irritated, although I'm not sure I have a right to be. Of course he's angry. Then again, he crossed a line today. You shouldn't have asked Emma about her dad. That wasn't right.
What is right then?
He snaps.
Why don't you tell me what's right?
Ouch. I'm not discussing this with you right now. We drive in silence, and when we arrive, Logan walks around the car and doesn't say a word as he opens my door. I suppose some of Lily and Eric's showbiz friends have flown in from LA, because there are limos and Teslas and Cadillacs in the driveway. Logan doesn't meet my eyes, just heads inside. I follow, feeling so out of place I might as well be on Mars. Wishing I'd gone to work instead, I'm grateful when Lily runs over, throws her arms around me and tells me how happy she is I showed. Logan ignores both of us, choosing instead to focus on the scotch at the bar. He pours his own drink and downs it in one swallow before pouring another. Dinner is nice, except that Logan, seated to my left, completely ignores me. Luckily, no one else seems to notice the awkward silence between us. Guests are too busy making speeches, dancing, and stuffing their faces. Logan disappears before dessert, and after another hour of politely avoiding any conversation about myself, I find him on the back deck and tell him I'm ready to go home. He says nothing, just continues to stare into space, so I turn to go back inside, trying to remember the bus schedule I looked up the other day.
Wait.
Logan grabs my arm.
Don't walk away again.
His jaw is hard, but his eyes are pleading.
Talk to me.
Logan? What should I do? I wanted to wait until after Lily's wedding because this confession is going to cause a stir, and I don't want it to overshadow her big day, but I can't keep lying to Logan's face. Fed up with my vacillation, he runs a hand roughly through his hair and grits out,
"Why won't you be honest with me?"
His eyes are dark as he stares me down, and when he takes a step toward me, I cower, retreating. He keeps coming though, until I finally hold up my hands. Please stop.
Stop what? Trying to get the truth out of you. I'm not a fucking idiot, Mia.
He's not holding back anymore, and the pain and rage lining his face hit me full force. My stomach plummets from his sharp words. I don't think you're an idiot.
Then what the hell? Emma's the right age. She looks just like me. Like us. Just say it already. Tell me the truth.
His voice is raised, and I hope the music inside is loud enough to mask our conversation. Fine. Okay, I admit, my voice strained. She's yours. Emma is your daughter. Open-mouthed, Logan stares at me, blinking slowly before his face morphs into an expression that reflects internal explosions too complicated for words. My legs wobble and I sink to the ground, curling my knees to my chest. Logan's jaw clenches, his nostrils flare, and his head falls back as he blinks up at the sky.
Why didn't you tell me?
There's so much hurt in his voice. I want desperately for him to understand. I was trying to do the right thing. For you.
For me.
I wince. I knew I'd have to choose between our baby or Harvard, but I couldn't give her up. This conversation is every bit as hard as I thought it would be. You said a baby would be the worst thing that could happen to you, and I saw no reason for both of us to forfeit our dreams. So I lied. Logan stares at his feet, shaking his head.
You should have fucking told me. It wasn't your decision to make.
I know he's right, but I'm not even sure I regret it. Maybe I do. I don't know. Logan? At the time it felt like the right thing to do. I only lied because I loved him. I still do.
I want to spend time with her.
His voice is cold and harsh.
I want her to know who I am.
I'll tell her tonight. I sit hugging my knees on the deck until I feel that my trembling legs are strong enough to support me. Unsteadily, I rise, intending to head off to the bus stop, but Logan stops me.
I'm taking you home. Chapter 14. Sipping coffee, I watch as the staff sets up chairs and the wedding planner barks orders to the caterers. It's been a long, sleepless night. The moment I heard the words, "Emma is your daughter," I felt a mix of elation and fury. I'd suspected, but confirmation that the bright, bubbly little girl is mine practically knocked me off my feet. I wanted to wring Mia's neck. How could she keep a secret like that? If I hadn't returned for Lily's wedding, would she have ever told me? But the more I thought about it, the more my anger diffused. Because I know Mia. She's kind and loving and selfless. It's why I fell in love with her. On the ride home, she told me that the moment her parents learned she was pregnant, they kicked her out on the street. I'm not surprised. They were always all about appearances. Once their daughter, the brilliant, chaste Harvard scholarship recipient, was demoted to a high school-educated unwed mom, I bet they wasted no time disowning her. That was the environment Mia was raised in. I've been putting two and two together. Mia must have been terrified when she learned she was pregnant. I remember telling her the night we made love that we needed to be careful because an unplanned pregnancy would be tragic. I remember saying it. I guess we weren't careful enough. I'm not sorry, not after meeting Emma, but my life would have been much different if Mia had confessed back then that she was pregnant. Would I have abandoned Nashville and run back home? Yes. In a heartbeat. I can't say I agree with the choice she made to go it alone, But I have to admit that without Mia's selflessness, I wouldn't be enjoying a successful music career. I can only imagine what the last 4 years have been like for her without support from family or friends. She's been carrying a heavy burden alone for a long time. Sweet, kind Mia always had a toughness underneath her timorous exterior, an inner core of solid steel. And I see it there still, beneath her haunted eyes.
Hey, big bro.
Lily grips her coffee mug as she steps out onto the deck wearing a bathrobe.
What you doing? Contemplating the wedding gift you're going to give me?
I smile despite myself. Lily, are you happy? With Eric, I mean? He seems like kind of
a jerk.
Well, yeah. She shrugs.
Nobody's perfect. And I'll let you in on a secret. That flowery, cornball, nauseatingly romantic bullshit that I play on screen and you write about in songs doesn't exist. Marriage is a business arrangement. You find someone who has something to offer you and wants what you have to offer them, and you make it legal.
Well, that's heartening.
Oh my God, Mom, that's for after the ceremony.
I turn to see our mother emerging from the lower level, holding what looks like a penguin ice sculpture. Lily slams her mug down, splashing coffee over the rim, and races out onto the lawn. It's depressing to learn my sister views her upcoming nuptials as a business arrangement, but she's wrong about one thing. That kind of love does exist. It's what Mia and I had, and I want it back. Mia made a choice. Right or wrong, I know she made it with the best of intentions. And I have a choice to make too. I can harbor anger and resentment, or I can let go of could have beens and should have beens, and be grateful for the opportunity to know my little girl. Hopefully, I can also win back her mother. There are only a few more hours until the wedding, and I have errands to run. With a fire nipping at my heels, I jump in the shower. Today is the day I start taking care of my girls. By the time I reach Belle Vista Apartments, I'm a little tense about how this will play out. Mia opens the door wearing a fragile smile. Emma runs up but is shyer today and half hides behind Mia's leg. Hey you. I hold out my fist for a fist bump like I taught her yesterday morning. Hesitantly, her little fist touches mine.
Mommy said you're my daddy.
When the word daddy emerges, my breath hitches and my eyes burn. I have to clear my throat. I am sorry I've been away in Nasty Village for so long. Mia's eyes convey gratitude. I've got presents for both of you. That breaks through Emma's shyness, and I hand her a gift that dwarfs her small frame.
You're not mad?
Mia is confused. And I can't blame her. Not anymore. I understand your choice. I'm grateful that you cared enough about me to make such a sacrifice so I could pursue my dream. She stares at the ground.
I still care.
I know. I flash my $1 million smile, only this time it's not the one I'm trained to produce on cue. This one's heartfelt. I love you, Mia. And you love me, I know you do. Mia gives me a look that, for once, radiates happiness instead of exuding trepidation.
I do.
While Emma busily tears at the gift wrapping, I hold a garment bag out to Mia. A sales associate assured me these dresses were the 3 most expensive in the store and there are shoes to match. Lily helped with sizes. Mia's jaw drops, but before she can speak, Emma squeals.
Pretty princess party dress.
She dances around the room wiggling her butt excitedly. Go ahead and put it on, I tell Emma. We've got a wedding to go to. Mia searches my face.
All 3 of us.
We're a family. It's time we act like one. She pales.
But
her hand squeezes mine in a death grip.
Everyone will be there.
Good. I want to announce to the world that you two are mine.
In front of your parents and Lily and the whole town?
I lean down so we're eye to eye. In front of the world, Mia. Mia's eyes brim with tears and my heart leaps when she flashes me $1 million smile of her own.
Epilogue. The doorbell rings and Emma dances over in her princess dress to answer it. She owns 3 pretty princess party dresses now. Since she insists on wearing one almost everywhere she goes, Logan ran out and bought her 2 more. Given the price tag, one would think the things would hold up better in the washing machine.
And who might you be?
I emerge from the formal dining room to see a tall, slender woman at the door, crouching slightly as she addresses Emma. I figure Logan must know her since she was admitted by security.
I am Princess Emma,
my daughter replies before curtsying. Oh, brother. She takes after her Aunt Lily with the dramatics. The woman looks up, meeting my eyes with a friendly but curious smile.
Then you must be Queen Mia.
She holds out a hand.
I'm Denise Dunbar, Logan's agent.
Oh, of course. We shake hands. Logan's in the shower. He'll be right out. This is our first week living in Nashville as a family, and the three of us couldn't be happier. Emma and I left most of our belongings behind since they were basically junk. I only brought her toys, pictures, and a few sentimental trinkets. Please come in, Denise. I'll go let him know you're here, I say as Emma, already bored, runs out back to play on the swing set Logan had installed for her.
No, wait. Have you seen this yet?
Denise taps the screen of her cell phone before she hands it to me.
Normally, I'd have his hide for this sort of thing, but his publicist and I both agree this is some damn fine exposure.
I stare at the phone, trying to process what I'm seeing as Logan's voice rings out in its deep, clear, gravelly tone. It's a dimly lit bar. Logan's playing guitar and singing. I recognize both the bar and the song. He's at Bo's bunkhouse singing his #1 hit, My Baby. I know the song well. I've spent countless hours torturing myself by playing it over and over. Except in this version, when he reaches the chorus, he substitutes the word baby with my name. My Mia, my heart, my soul, my passion, my one desire. My Mia. He's singing to me.
It's gone viral.
Denise gently takes the phone from my hand.
Commenters are wondering who Mia is. And other media outlets have picked up on it. There's all kinds of buzz and speculation. You're one lucky lady.
Holy crap.
I'm just going to leave you three alone for the moment,
Denise says over my head with an amused glimmer in her eye.
Call you later, Logan.
She waves as she ducks back out the door, and I turn to see Logan standing in the doorway staring at me with a gaze so intense I might go up in flames. Logan? I don't know what to say at first. There's a lump in my throat. And then something clicks. Was that the night you showed up at my place, shouting like a drunken fool?
Drunken fool. I scaled the fire escape like a knight in shining armor. Then made love to you like a Casanova.
I wince. Casanova was a player. You'd better not. He pulls me into his arms.
You're the only woman for me.
When he holds me in his embrace like this, I finally feel whole. He's the glue that put my fractured pieces back together, and I wonder how I lived without him for so long.
When are you gonna marry me?
He says as he kisses down my neck and I squirm in his arms. He asks me the same question every day.
We agreed to wait until the hoopla from the Lily situation died down. But don't think I'll wait forever.
Lily's wedding was a bust. As in, it never happened, but that's a story for another time.
Daddy, will you push me?
Emma skips into the foyer. She's wearing her tiara now.
I'd love to, princess.
Logan's eyes light up every time our daughter calls him daddy, and each time I'm struck with a pang of guilt.
I just need to talk to mommy for a minute and I'll be right out.
She turns and skips outside.
Hey, none of that.
Logan sees right through me. I just feel ashamed that I kept her from you and your family for so long.
Did my parents lay any blame on you?
No. They haven't. The Kents welcomed me to the family with open arms and no animosity whatsoever. They had questions, of course, and Logan answered them. He told them that his success is in a large part thanks to my selflessness. I'm not sure I totally agree with his assessment, but his parents are wonderful to me and dote on Emma. In fact, Grandma and Grandpa Kent promised her they'd fly to Nashville every other month just to visit her. Logan said he won't be surprised if they find a place nearby and move here by year's end. I'm still in Logan's arms when he takes a deep breath, leans down and kisses the tip of my nose, making me curious about what it is he wants to talk to me about.
Mia, I've been thinking. I have everything I've ever dreamed of.
My brow furrows as I wonder where he's going with this.
Facing the world, caring for and protecting our daughter on your own, must have taken incredible courage. But you're not alone anymore. If you still want to go to college and even law school, it's not too late. You don't need a scholarship. We can afford it. We can also hire a nanny for when I'm on tour.
Wow. That is unexpected. I need to think about that, I say, but my brain is already buzzing with the idea. Maybe I'll wait a couple more years until Emma's in school, but why not? I'm not alone, struggling to support my daughter on a hair above minimum wage salary anymore. Emma and I are both safe, protected, and loved. Right then, I exhale a breath that I feel as though I've been holding for 4 long years.
Let's go push Emma on the swing set.
Logan leads me through the huge 8-bedroom mansion.
Just hold on to me.
He says as we step out into the backyard where our daughter is playing.
I got you now. We hope you have enjoyed this computer-generated audio production of Only Mia by Una Ryda. The next book in this series is Only Lily.
To ensure these authors are able to bring you more free content, please support them by subscribing to this channel.